Well, I know I harp about the convention of states on here a lot. And the thing is, I got to thinking, you know, follow me now, listen with me. You pay for all these audits and all this compliance. You do and I do. I used to work for one of the largest companies in a certain industry in the world, and we had audits from all over the country. I worked in the department that handled all the audits. We had to provide all the documents for everybody. So, for an example, let's say somebody from Denver needed an audit our product sales in that city. Well, they have all their own little idiosyncrasies and their own little fees and their own little everything. Well, back then, a lot of it was still on paper. So if they wanted to audit something from, say, 2014 through 2016, we'd have to get a hold of a place called Iron Mountain. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but we had shipped a lot of our boxes full of documents to Iron Mountain. So now you have to put in an order to Iron Mountain. This auditor's going to fly in. They're going to meet us probably at our warehouse, someplace where we have enough room, a manufacturing warehouse, so we can put all these boxes and meet with them. And it's going to take them several days. And it's going to take me and maybe a couple other people to be there to help provide what documents they're looking for. And they're got to dig through all these boxes. There may be a dozen boxes that show up finally. They may be in town renting a room for several days. They had to fly in from Denver. So all these expenses are going to be eventually trickled down to you. So it's not good enough that it's not good enough that you've already paid all your taxes and we paid our taxes, because a lot of times they wouldn't even find anything. They would go through all these boxes and a lot of times they'd end up finding out that we overpaid and they owe us money. But it would go on for months and weeks, and there'd be things like exemption certificates involved, where if we got an exemption certificate from somebody that was buying products from us and they hadn't signed it right or filled it out correctly or checked the right box or put a date on it or something, then they wouldn't accept it. So then they'd try to get us to pay, and then we'd try to get a hold of the people that bought it and see if they paid. And if they had paid, we'd have to find proof that they actually paid for that. It's just ridiculous. I mean, because a lot of the people that would give us exemption certificates, they weren't even resale. Why that was going on, I don't know. That was before I got there, but I don't know why we would even take an exemption certificate, because they were knowingly using this product. But like I said, it was worldwide. We had audits from all over, but mainly the United States, of course. A lot of these other countries didn't audit us. At least I wasn't involved in it. So that's kind of what we were looking at. And the thing is, if it costs $1,000 a night for them to come into town, well, who do you think's paying for that? You think Denver's just eating that cost? Well, of course they are, but where do they get their money? They get it from the people of Denver. So they have to raise taxes to get more money to do things like audits that spend all this money because of compliance, only to find out in a lot of cases there's nothing wrong and they can't get any more money. It's ridiculous. That's why I keep harping on the convention of states. We need to have a convention of states and see if we can get a flat tax out of the deal, along with some term limits, because your people in office aren't concerned with any of this. They've never been concerned with any of this. There has been a flat tax known as the fair tax on the table since early 2000s. I think it was John Linder and Neil Bortz that helped put all that together in a book, or a couple different books, and promoted it, and it got a little traction. I still hear people talk about it from time to time, but they're not serious. And I'm not really crazy about the fair tax anyway, because it gave people, cards with money on them for them to pay for food and different things and all this. And I first of all, I don't think you need to tax food. I don't think you need to tax shelter or energy or any of that type of stuff. Not when it comes to a family. Now, maybe for a manufacturing plant or something like that. And then when you sell the product, that's my whole thing, is when you sell that product, when you sell any kind of product new, that is when the tax goes on the product. There is no payroll tax involved. That's nothing embedded in the cost of the product. Whereas this audit's going to be embedded in the cost of a product, and oh shoot, I'll have to edit this. The compliance issue is going to have to be dealt with, and it costs money. It costs money to the companies too when they have a tax-free weekend, like in our state or something. All those companies have to go and readjust their point of sale registers and their accounting systems, and they have to make sure they have somebody that reads up on how to account for it and where to put it on the form and all these different things. And that's only for a month. So they have to change everything, have a meeting, and eat up all these costs. So somebody, if they spend maybe $1,000 on some food, they save $40. And the thing is, while you're doing that, everybody's benefiting. Even the people from out of town are benefiting. So how does that benefit your state or county? Because all the people, especially in our, I live near Nashville, we have visitors every day, and we lose that tax revenue too. And it just makes them later come along and go, oh, we need to raise taxes on property, or we need to raise taxes for this, or we're growing too fast. And that, I think now they have a new fee they're wanting to put on because they need to widen the sewer systems and different things. There's always some new tax. They call it a fee, but it's a tax. Somebody's going to have to pay some more money. And where does that go? That goes into the cost of rental properties and places you buy. In the same breath, they turn around and go, we got to make more affordable housing in Nashville. Seriously, that's what we got to have more affordable housing, and you're not going to do that when you're taxing the crap out of all the people that own the properties. Now, if you're a socialist country or a communist country, yeah, you don't have to worry about all that. But then everybody's going to get crap to live in, crap to buy, crap to eat, lines to stand in. Okay. So anyway, this compliance thing cost us so much. And again, that's why I harp. That convention of states I'm talking about to you will save you money. It will save you money. You don't understand how it will save you money. It'll save you money on compliance, on the payroll issues. It will save you, if we pass the flat tax, that's what I hope we can get done. If they pass the flat tax out of the convention of state, because it's not going to happen in any Congress we have, but they have too many people that don't want it. They can control people with that. So if you ever pass it, then you won't have all these compliance costs. You won't have embedded in your products costs for maintaining payrolls or paying sales tax or any of this type of thing. I mean, you'll still have sales tax, but mainly it'll be collected right when you sell something. And if it's not brand new product under the plan that I have seen, then you won't pay anything. If you just have to be an exchange. And when you get paid, if you make $1,000, you get paid $1,000 because you won't have all the other withholdings and different things, because the tax money is all going into one place and then being divvied up with the states or however they decide, and they get together and say, I got to have this much for that, and they figure it all out and they come up with a tax rate. But the thing is, it may look like a high tax rate. It may say, 25%, you're going to freak out like I first did when I saw it. But the thing is, after I learned, you don't have that extra cost in there for all the other taxes in the product. Every product you get has embedded payroll taxes in the manufacturing process, or embedded taxes for the property taxes, or have embedded taxes in the freight because people had to pay payroll taxes to the people that are delivering the freight and the trucks. and all the trucking taxes and the gas taxes and all these diesel fuel taxes and the road tax. And just name something, you got a tax on it. So if you get rid of all that, you're going to have one tax on all of it. Now, there'll be some states still try to do their own state tax. And what will happen to them? People will move to other states to do business. That's what's going to happen. It'd be like California, everybody leaving now. I mean, there'd be even more exodus. Why would you want to do business in a state like that and then manufacture and everything and get hit with a state tax when there's like 15 other states connected to you that you can go across the line and build your place over there? Okay, they might not let you sell in California then. Okay, well, California's going to be in a world of hurt if that's the case. And that's just an example. I'm just saying, one tax, and it's a collection thing, and the government agencies that collect it and get their divvy, they divvy it out however they want to. And it takes all the power out of the income tax and all these other taxing authorities and shuts down a lot of the nonsense of, oh, we got to have a new tax on this. We got too many people coming to town. We got to have to. Anyway, it's a solution. It may not be a perfect one, and I'm sure it'll have to get tweaked along the way. That's one other reason why, if you have a convention of states, you need to get rid of the 16th Amendment. That way, if you did go to one tax like that, and they just kind of shut down the 16th Amendment for a while, they can't sneak it back in later and go, oh, now we're going to have to do an income tax too. So you don't want them being able to do an income tax too, along with your consumption tax. You will want to get rid of the 16th Amendment and the income tax. And there's some other things too. You can go watch my other videos on the Convention of States, but yeah, it's mainly a compliance. We have stuff tacked on all the time for compliance. People just don't even know. All right, well, have a good one.